Hey everyone, I know it's been a little bit since I uploaded an original video on the main channel, but I just want to say, Rainbow Six Extraction, the game's been out for about like a month now, and I've been playing this a lot with my friends over on Twitch, which you should totally follow in the description below. So after all the time spent in Rainbow Six Extraction, I sort of wanted to give an opinionated tier list on what I think is like viable and least viable for all the people coming into Rainbow Six Extraction into this brand new world and adventure. Because it brings 18 of some of the fan-favorite operators from normal Rainbow Six Siege, and it just kind of throws a lot of action at you. And I just want to say, while I was writing this, Zofia came out, and I don't feel like it's fair to really rank her in this video, considering the fact that A, I don't have enough research on her, and B, I can't really make that call without playing her too often. So she's going to be disclaimed. So this tier list is mainly only for the base game operators in the game. And I will say this is mainly my opinion, but I'm also being optimal at the same time. So I decided to split the tiers up into 4 different tiers. My D, don't play. My C tier, which are situational ops. The valid ops. My A tier. And, well, just fucking cracked. I mean, these guys are kind of broken. So let's get right into this. Now, honestly, there's only really 3 characters that kind of fit in the low tier, and the first one I'm bringing over is Sledge. Now, Sledge is bar none the absolute worst operator in this entire game. He has really bad guns, ammos is really scarce on him, and he doesn't really help out with too many objectives all too often, and his sledgehammer is not helpful at all, because his sledgehammer alerts the enemies, and in a game where stealth is going to be a clear condition about 99.9% of the time, an ability that puts the entire team in jeopardy just kind of warrants to be the worst character in the game. Not too far from his fellow SAS brethren is Smoke. Now, Smoke sort of suffers from the same issue Sludge has, really bad guns with absolute no ammo to count, but a slightly more useful ability because his smoke grenades can at least clear out some of the ground and kill enemies. I mean, if it was able to like cancel out the Nova gas and the bloaters, he would have went up, but as of right now, despite being one of the last operators you unlock, here's Nomad. Nomad's guns are kind of just like they're not very good, and there's no way you're going silent with that secondary, let me tell you, alright? But her Thundergun mines, I guess is what they're called, don't exactly, they're not exactly very good, because, yeah, it stuns and launches the parasites into very funny slipping motions, yeah, but they just recover way too quick. Honestly, I have no other word for her. Just everybody else just outclasses. Now we're moving on over to our C tier operators. None of them are really bad per se, but they're all insanely situational. Like, they just have one purpose, and that's all they're really ever used for. So first up in our situational, we got Jager. Now, Jager is a bit of an interesting case, because he actually has really good guns all around. It's just, he's only really used for MIA, and that's it. Like, there's literally no other point to pick Jager if you just don't die. I'm also gonna slide Fuse in this tier. Not really too much special about Fuse. I mean, he has good guns and all. Guns are pretty fun to use, but his ability is a bit of a risk and reward. While it can alert all the enemies in the area, it can also just kind of clean up all the enemies in the area at the same time. So it just kind of depends on how you use the cluster strike. But we all know one thing, this joke just kind of writes itself. Then we got Ella, and honestly, Ella is probably the most C-tier operator in this entire game. Because, well, her guns are not really good or bad, they just kind of eat ammo up, but on top of that, she does help out with biopsy and elite elimination of those Grisbot mines, and they get rid of the annoying spores. She's not bad, she's just kind of outclassed by everybody else. Now, funny thing, Kappa is an operator who isn't completely horrible, just completely outclassed in what he does. I mean, he does have really good guns, and they do damage, but his whole ability stick of the venom and the smoke shots just being kind of area control. Just other characters do that area control job a lot better. I mean, the Venom Shots is good on the big bosses, but like, so is somebody coming up, so... Like I said, not bad, just outclassed. Sort of like Ella, but a little less mid-tier. So the last character I'm gonna slide into this tier is Gridlock, or as I like to call her, Midlock. It's kind of crazy that the last 3 operators you unlock in this game are really low on the tier list, but like, Gridlock has her traps, which sound good on paper, but the thing about that is not every day that the enemies are gonna run into the traps. I mean, you do get crazy enhanced when you level them up, but I'd rather have traps that you can control. So now that we're on to B2, we're really heading into the mostly viable section where all the operators here are pretty damn good overall, but they do have a few things holding them back. So these next 2 characters can really be interchanged depending on what you prefer, but I'm gonna toss in IQ first. Now IQ ability is really good for detecting the ammo crates and the med kits around the map and stuff like that, but slight issue, you can also just kind of ping them through a wall. Yeah, I mean, IQ does have Jager's gun setup, which is really good, although one thing I can mention about IQ scan is that she can scan some objectives on top of that, which is actually really nice. And now the character I think you can swap with IQ is Lion. And Lion is another member of what I like to call the Scan Brigade. With his EED, he can scan enemies that are relatively close, which I think having enemy awareness is a bit more useful than knowing when certain stuff is. Plus, I think Lions has just overall better guns, and the scanners are wider range, so. Now, as we slowly get closer to our top tiers, I want to take a stop by and see Alibi. Now, Alibi's holograms are actually really good. They're kind of like the monkey bombs from zombies, but don't explode. And they're really helpful for most objectives, scan, sabotage, hell, even biopsy. But the main reason Alibi isn't really higher is because Alibi's guns are ammo eaters, and yikes. Now on to the better Capiteo, it's Habana. Now on paper you kinda would think, what could Habana really contribute to a PvE game where her X-Cryos literally one-shots most of the annoying boss enemies. I'm talking rooters, bloaters, elites, hell even the big brutes guys fall mercy to them X-Cryos. But she sort of suffers an alibi problem in the ammo department. The last character before we hit some of the toppest of the tiers, we have Vigil. I originally didn't expect to put Vigil so high, but hear me out, Vigil's ability is insanely good. He goes invisible and all the enemies just can't find him with his sneakiness like Metal Gear Solid. And that sneakiness can really come in clutch for a last second revive or just needing to get out of any bad situation. Now Vigil's guns are pretty good overall as well. Now on to our A tier ops, almost the top tiers that are not exactly the top tier. So crazy thing about A tier, there's only really one character in A tier, and well, that's Doc. And Doc's overall is safe operator to pick on the sole fact that he can heal himself and his teammates, and just having a healer is a really good aspect to any team. Real reason Doc is in S tier is because he has a limit on how many stem shots he can use until he finds another refill ability container. And here we have our final tier. Honestly, these operators just break the game and should be on most squads, if not all squads, if possible. Because these next 3 operators honestly just kind of give you the most smooth run in Extraction. So I originally had this character at the top of A tier, but with some new research, Rook earned his spot in S tier. Rook's the definition of a team player. I mean, there's a reason he's number 4 on Watch Mojo's list after all. While Rook has the same loadout as Doc, he gives everyone his armor, which is already a plus 30 on top of the already plus 20 to 30 armor for most characters get for leveling up. Only bad thing about Rook is just when you have a teammate that just doesn't realize they're playing Rook and they run away. Now on to the better Doc, Finka. And Finka's honestly just one of the best characters in the game with running a group in Extraction, because Finka's healing does definitely not last as long as Doc, but her healing's on a cooldown timer, and it gets low as you level up, which not being on ability crates is already a lot better than Doc, and plus she has really good guns and ammo, and Finka's ability just comes in clutch more times than not. Now if you're doing your process of elimination, you know the best in the game is Pulse, by far. Although I've said in the past that he's really honest and a boring operator because of that stupid heartbeat monitor, that stupid heartbeat monitor fucking breaks Extraction and helps you find about most of the objectives in the entire game. And even then, Pulse has really good guns, even though he starts off as a shotgun. He has really good guns, It's a really good ammo and literally finds most of the objectives. What more could you want? And detects enemies on top of that. So I might have missed a character. Well, and there you go, your full Rainbow Six Extraction Operator tier list. Man, this has been a burden on my chest for a while, and thank you guys for the patience because this video took forever. But keep in mind, this tier list is literally just my opinion, but I'm being semi-optimal, so if you disagree, leave a comment below. But here's the list of all the Rainbow Six Extraction Operators. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!